Hello, my starlit beauties, and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be going through what would be my ideal all-star season as of now. This is as of the year and the day and the time that I'm filming this, which is like 11:30 p.m. on December, what the fuck is today's date? The 14th. I'm filming this on the 14th. I thought this would be a fun video idea because as we are progressing and we're getting more and more Drag Race seasons, we've gotten to the point where I believe it's confirmed that we're getting at least 4 All-Star seasons next year of, US internationals, all the above. So I thought this would be a fun video going through my ideal process of what an all-star season for me would look like specifically, and how it would be formatted, what the cast would be, and everything else. Now, I chose to format this as if it was a US all-star season. I mainly did that because I thought limiting the scope and choosing a specific kind of all-stars for it to be would be the most interesting way to kind of do this, so I decided to go with a US all-stars version of it. And hopefully in the future, I do plan on doing another kind of video like this, but with like a global all-stars season. If you all would like to see that, that is. This video could flop. I don't know. There's a chance. There's a chance this won't happen again. But I decided to do this as a US all-star season. And with that, I only did cast US contestants on here. The past couple of all-star seasons, we've had one international contestant, and I considered doing that, but I felt if I was going to do 2 videos of this kind, with, the 2 different kinds of all-stars we have at the moment that have happened, being the US all-stars and then the global, UK versus the world, Canada versus the world, we'll soon be getting global all-stars, kind of all-star seasons. I thought it would be best to just kind of have them distinct, so I decided to do only US contestants here. So I'm going to be going through my thought process on the cast, and then the way that I would plan out the season if I was like the showrunner, the producer of the show, and what I would do to make it its own fun little thing. Before we get started though, please like, comment, and subscribe on this video if you would like. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year, and we are getting close. We're currently at like 930, so we got like 70 more. It's possible. We can do it. I know we can. So if you all would do that, that would be lovely. That'd be my Christmas miracle. That was the stupidest way I could fucking phrase that. Oh my god. But no, it would truly be really nice. And also, only about 25% of my viewers are subscribed, so if you want to subscribe to me, girly pop, come on, do it. So, let us get into this. I'm going to be going and revealing the cast in chronological order from when they first appeared on a Drag Race season. So starting with season 1, we have Nina Flowers. Oh my goodness, Nina Flowers is an icon. I've talked before in videos on this channel how much I love Nina Flowers. If you've seen my How Would I Judge Drag Race Season 1 video, which I did a while back, which I'll put in the iCard if I remember to do that, I love Nina Flowers. Since I first even got into Drag Race and like saw Nina Flowers, I was like, oh my god, she's so stunning and gorgeous, and I would love to see her on my TV again. And obviously this isn't like a realistic All-Stars cast, because there are a couple of these people who I just do not imagine saying yes to coming back, one of which is Nina Flowers. Nina Flowers is like a full-time DJ at this point, and while still does sometimes DJ and drag, isn't like a drag performer in the sense of doing literally anything other than DJing at this point. So I don't imagine that Nina Flowers would come back if asked, but is she on my ideal cast? Absolutely. Realistically, all these people potentially could say yes except for Nina Flowers, but I love Nina too much, and this is my dream cast of what would happen on this situation in this scenario with only the US contestants in this point in time of life of 2023. So she's on here. She's on here. She has to be. From season 2, we have Tatiana. Okay. Tatiana is an icon. Obviously, she was on All Stars 2. She killed it. She was everything. She is amazing. She didn't really get, I feel like, a fair shake on All Stars 2. Obviously, it was technically a fair shake because, like, they eliminate each other. So whatever a person decides is fair and what they want to do is fair, you know? But, like, we need to see more Tatiana on our screens. We absolutely need to see it. It is a shame that we did not get to see more of her on All Stars 2, and I feel like this All-Star season would be the perfect time to say hello, Tatiana. How's it going? Welcome back. She is stunning. She's amazing. I mean, I feel like people want this a lot, so why wouldn't we do it? Why not? I did not end up casting anybody from season 3 of RuPaul's Drag Race, but I did cast somebody from season 4, and that is the Princess. Okay. So, the Princess is a fucking amazing drag queen. If you do not follow the Princess on, like, Instagram, you should follow the Princess because their drag is just amazing. The Princess has been working at Play Nashville, one of, like, the most iconic gay bars in the US. I don't feel like that's an incorrect statement to say. I would say it's one of the most iconic today, like, in the modern era, not like a historically important or iconic, but one that's become more iconic recently. That's how I feel about it. You can disagree with me, but that's the way I feel. It's my opinion. But she's been working there forever, and is just a great fucking drag queen. And she would definitely fill the role of, like, the early season contestant that I'm not going to say has been forgotten, because forgotten is the wrong word, but did not go particularly far on the original season. And now that the time has passed and their drag has changed, what are they going to do? And I really, really would hope in the scenario that the Princess would not go home early, because I feel like for the past few All-Star seasons, a lot of the people who come in that position are just, like, cannon fodder and get eliminated super early. I mean, literally fucking Monica Beverly Hills, Serena Cha-Cha, like, literally. Even Jasmine Masters, to an extent, I feel like fits in that kind of archetype. And I really would not want that to happen. Obviously, I'm not gonna, like, rig it to be the case. And I'm also not gonna be, like, determining placements of, like, who would make the final 4 in this video. If you want me to do a video on that, of how I think this season would play out, then I could do that. But that's not happening in this video. But I really hope, just for her sake, she would make it past, like, episode 3. If she can, yeah, episode 3, because she got eliminated on episode 3 in our original season, so if she gets to 4, it's completely satisfied, you know what I mean? From season 5, we have Detox. Okay, so Detox is everything. I've mentioned in previous videos of, like, casting different, like, seasons of when I did, like, videos of, like, drag race contestants on Survivor and Big Brother. I've mentioned Detox before and just been like, I would love to see Detox on my television screen again in the near future. And I mean, I put her on here for that exact same reason. Detox is iconic and is everything. She could have won All Stars 2. She legit could have won All Stars 2. And I feel like having Detox do Drag Race again would just be stellar. I mean, she's cut her placement in half each time. She got 4th the first time, 2nd/3rd the second time. I think that means she's gonna get 1st this time, and I would be so happy to see it. We are gonna be skipping season 6, and our next contestant is from season 7, and that is Jaden Dior Fierce. Now, Jaden has been highly rumored and requested to be on All Stars casts as of the past, like, few years, I feel. And I want her on too. She's iconic. She could have won challenges on season 7. I mean, The fucking, like, Rue parody challenge that Kennedy Davenport won, the win should have gone to fucking Jaden Dior Fierce. She should not have gone home on Snatch Game. Jaden was an amazing fucking drag queen. And absolutely, if afforded the opportunity, could have made such a deep and iconic run. A deeper run than she did on season 7. And now I need to see Jaden Dior Fierce on an All-Star season at some point. It just has to happen. I think she would do amazing in any fucking scenario. And honestly, I think we all need it. If you say you don't think you need it, you're lying. We all need it. We all need to see it happen. Next up, we're skipping season 8 and we're moving on to season 9, where we have Peppermint. Peppermint, I mean, we have to complete I was about to say trifecta, but that's wrong. The quadrant of the season 9 final 4 being on All-Star seasons of Drag Race. I mean, literally 3 of them have won. I literally just said Jaden Dior Fierce would win, but honestly, Peppermint, like, Peppermint could easily win this shit. And Peppermint, literally earlier today, was officially announced as being on the Traitors. Well, technically she already was, but the trailer came out today. So we're getting some Peppermint on our television screens in 2024, and I mean, in this hypothetical season, why not get some on 2025? Why not? Come on, I want to see Peppermint do on Drag Race. I mean, Peppermint is just an icon. She's always been an icon. She will forever be an icon. There's no reason to not. Next up from season 10, we have Yuhua Hamasaki. Yuhua, I mean, I feel like is kind of one of these contestants that was eliminated early on in a more recent season, but everybody knows if afforded the right opportunity or if the challenges were ordered slightly differently, could have potentially made such a deeper run. I mean, we saw in season 10 that she can make an outfit, she can dance, she can do a lip sync. The only thing we saw that she couldn't do as 100% was like the acting. And now that Yuhua has a pretty famous YouTube channel that she actively runs a bunch, like, I think that acting struggle is probably not a struggle anymore. So I think Yuhua would do great on this season. And I also like having, you know, a good handful of these contestants be contestants that didn't make it too terribly far on their original season. And I feel like, you know, Yuhua is going to add to that kind of narrative. And we'll end up seeing where that goes. I did not add anybody from season 11, but I did add someone from season 12. And that is Crystal Method. Crystal Method is an icon. And we need more season 12 rep on fucking All-Stars. We need it. We've had, like, barely any. Like, I mean, we had Jan, we had Jada, we had Heidi. Like, that's not enough. That's not enough. We need more of them. We need more of them on All-Stars. There's such an iconic cast. More of them. Obviously, I only put Crystal, but, like, we need more. And I feel like Crystal is one of the people who I really want to see from season 12 on an All-Star season. I did consider other people from season 12. I considered Britta, I considered Aiden. Those are the main two that I was considering, besides Crystal, but I mean, Crystal's drag is so fucking interesting, and I think it would be so exciting to see her on this season here. I also added one contestant from season 13, and that is Olivia Lux. Olivia had a great run on season 13, and I feel like could have an even better run this time around. Olivia is just such a great drag performer, is so funny, can make good outfits, can do all of these great fucking things. And now that we've seen more recently Olivia, you know, doing stuff like in the ballroom scene, I feel like it'd be interesting to see Olivia's perspective now in comparison to what it was, you know, a few years ago when she was on season 13. Now, I ended up putting 2 contestants from season 14 on here. I tried my best not to have too many contestants from any particular season. I ended up with 2 contestants from All Stars 2, 2 from 14, and 2 from 15, so I feel like I did okay there. It could have been better, but whatever. But the first contestant we'll be talking about from season 14 is Maddie Morphosis. Now, Maddie really, post season 14, has come out as one of the I just realized the way I started phrasing that. Maddie has come out as one of that was not intentional at all. I also don't want to make jokes about that. Maddie's living her life and I love her for it. But Maddie has really shown to be like one of the standouts from her cast. Her YouTube show, Give It To Me Straight, is truly, honestly, like, I don't want to sound shady. I don't want to be hyperbolic either. But I'm gonna say the best currently operating drag talk show. Just like, period. Like, I don't feel bad in saying that. It is amazing. It is truly giving the content that I feel like we all want and need in our lives. And I feel like this kind of Maddie, with this development that we've seen from her recently, I feel like having Maddie on an All-Star season in the near future would be so fun. I would love to see it so bad. Our second contestant from season 14 is Deja Sky. Deja is just so fucking funny. Deja also has been slaying the YouTube game as well, and truly is just an icon. The mug is perfect. She's so beautiful, can do pretty much literally anything, actually. And I would love to see her on an All-Stars. I just want to see her on my TV again. It doesn't have to be All-Stars, but in this scenario, it is All-Stars, and I just want to see her on my TV screen. Deja, go and, like, I don't know, House Hunters. I'll watch it. As I mentioned earlier, I did put 2 contestants from season 15. The first contestant from season 15 is Irene Dubois. Irene is one of those contestants where, again, kind of like Yuhua, where if the fucking universe just shifted a little bit to the left, we could have seen an insanely different track record for Irene on her season. You know, it really could have just shifted so much with so little, I feel like. If she'd just been placed low that first episode instead of in the bottom, I feel like there's a chance that we see Irene way down at the end of the season. I really do. And I feel like we have to see Irene on All Stars. Truly just to kind of like confirm whether that would be the case. I really want to see Irene on All Stars just to see what the fuck would happen. I have to know. I have to know. And the final contestant from season 15 is Selena S. Titties. Oh my god, her arm is cut off. Fuck me. How did I just notice that? No! Oh, damn it. I thought I cropped these good enough that everybody's limbs were intact at the very least. God damn it. As you can tell, the cropping tools that I used cropped some of these better than others. I wasn't gonna go and take all fucking time and like Photoshop and crop them. What am I? A person who puts an effort? No. But Selena, I mean, if you've seen my videos about season 15 that I've done, the how would I judge it, the review videos I did of it, I love Selena S. Titties so much. She was like the breakout of season 15 for me in a lot of ways. And I really feel like a lot of her judging on season 15 wasn't the most fair. So I would love to see a fresh season for Selena and see what she would do with it. I feel like she could do an amazing job if given the runway, metaphorically and literally, in which to do it. So that is going to be the cast for this season. It is 13 contestants. It is an odd number. It is a big number. No 10-season All-Stars cast. I don't want that. This is my ideal season. We're not doing a 10-person cast. that's too little. I feel like 12, 13, 14, that is kind of the sweet spot here, for me at least, in terms of a cast. So this is the cast we're doing, and this is what we're running with. So I'm going to go through each of the episodes of this season. There is a challenge I've put with each episode, and the format of the season, the kind of challenges, any twists and turns that would happen, and just the way that this would go in my brain. Starting off with episode 1 of this season, we would have a talent show. I am always a fan of a talent show on Drag Race. I feel like given the opportunity to make an insane piece of art that the contestants want to, when you give them the ability to do that, you're going to get something great every time. So in my vision, the contestants will be able to do whatever the fuck they want. Copyrighted music? Sure. Fucking fire breathing? Go for it. I want it to be batshit insane. And I think it would be. This opening episode would be a non-elimination episode, and that would be clear from the jump. As I've mentioned in videos previously, if you've seen any of my content, you know I like a good non-elimination episode 1. Because I feel like we gotta give some time to know the contestants before we say goodbye to them. And I feel like allowing them to create a whatever piece of art they want with a guarantee of not going home because of it is a recipe for success in getting an amazing episode 1 here. And because there's nobody being eliminated in this episode is going to be a top 2 episode where the top 2 are going to lip sync for the win. Now, that is not going to be the format for the rest of the season, I will get to in a moment. But that is going to be the format for episode 1. And in my vision, some of the contestants would be called as safe. A portion of them, like 5 of them, would be, critiqued on the stage as the top 5 of the week. And the top 2 would lip sync against each other for the win. The winner would get a cash tip of some kind, and they would get immunity for the second episode of the season. And I've kind of toyed with this in my brain of whether or not there should be immunity running throughout the season, but I decided against that ultimately. I feel like it's one of those situations where if you asked me like in 2 days whether they should get immunity throughout the whole season, I would say yes. But for now, I'm going to say no about it because with the way that I want to format the rest of this season, I feel like it would be a bit too much, but having it as a twist and as a reward for somebody doing incredibly well in episode 1, especially in a talent show, I feel like it makes sense and is a nice little bonus to put in here to cause some intrigue. In episode 2, we are having a design challenge, specifically the Drag on a Dime challenge. I mean, it is literally the first challenge that was ever done on Drag Race. It is iconic due to that, and I think it would be so fun to have a design challenge just so incredibly early in this All-Star season. Say, hey, it's episode 2, make an outfit. Literally, I think All-Star 6 had the ball challenge episode 2, but literally most All-Star seasons, it is very performance-based. With like acting challenges and musicals and performance challenges. I want a design challenge right off the bat, and especially this one. Now, I feel like a lot of the challenges this season, and kind of like the theming of the season, so to say, would be like a love letter to Drag Race, if that makes sense. A lot of the challenges would be inspired or like, sequels, I guess, of past challenges. And the formatting is going to work more similarly to what a normal Drag Race season's format would be. And the format we are doing is the Canada Season 4 format for this season. And if you've not seen Drag Race Canada Season 4, first of all, watch it, please. It's been such a good season. And second of all, the format is the winner of the week gets to save one of the bottom 3 from lip syncing, and the bottom 2 have to lip sync for their life, and the loser goes home. And that is what the format would be for the rest of this season. And in this season, past episode 1, there's no double saves. There's none. Mainly because I did not want to add an extra challenge to this season, because I was struggling to think of what challenge I would add if I were to do one. But ultimately, I feel like, you got your, free ride in episode 1. We got to see them. For the next episodes, everyone is going to get eliminated until we get to the end. So we're going to be doing that Canada Season 4 format here. And in my brain, the way that the immunity would play into this is if the immunity holder would be in the bottom 3, they would just be taken out of that and just be, like, safe. They would not be a member of the bottom 3, but, they can't be put in the bottom 2 because they're immunity, so the other 2 would be the bottom 2. No, I'm not going to do that. They would just be safe so that the choice for who the winner has to save is still a choice that has to be made. So that's the way that would happen. And yeah, the episode would play out exactly that way. We would have the winner, some highs, some safes, and their bottom 3. We'll have the winner save somebody, then the bottom 2 will lip sync, and that's pretty much it. And that's going to be the way it's going to be for the rest of these episodes until we get to the end. And we're going to move on to episode 3. Episode 3 would be the untucked lip sync challenge that we had on season 5 of RuPaul's Drag Race. I've been wanting this challenge back forever. I mean, literally since I got into Drag Race. One of the first seasons I watched was season 5, and I saw this challenge, and I was obsessed. And I'm waiting for the day for them to do it again, because there's so much content they could do it with. It is truly one of those challenges where they started now. They could have it as a staple for, like, every season moving forward. They truly could. It wouldn't be hard. It literally wouldn't be. There's so much content to fucking do it with, I feel like. And so, I need to see this challenge again. I need to see it. And I think this would be so fun to watch. In this challenge, they would be split into teams. So we would have some mini challenge in order to determine that. We would have had the reading challenge on episode 1, by the way. We would have had that. Oh, and these episodes would be 90 minutes long. They would be that kind of standard thing that we've gotten used to recently, because I feel like it's a good time period for a Drag Race episode. And also, there would be mini challenges in most episodes. Not all, but over half, for sure. I feel like mini challenges are fun, and if they're taking up 5 minutes of the episode, why not just, like, do them? I feel like it's nice, So whoever would win the mini challenge would assign the groups, and we would end up having our scenes. I would assume it would be 3 scenes, because we would have 12 contestants, and it'd be 4 in each. And we would have, like, the kind of Tamisha versus Candy fight from season 13, the Heidi, Britta Aiden situation, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and fuck you from season 12. And then, like, the season 9, your Linda Evangelista model, that kind of thing. It could also be in smaller groups, like pairs, if we wanted it to be, if you wanted to do just, like, the main people in those arguments. So it could be split up in, like, groups of 3 or pairs or whatever, or like a group of 4 and like a 3 and then a couple 2s. It could be a situation like that. It doesn't really matter that much. They just have to be determined and set in whatever way, and we would have a fun challenge. And this challenge would be judged in the teams. I generally enjoy when challenges are judged in teams from the jump. And there's only a couple team challenges on this season. I think there's literally going to be 2 that I have planned. But both of them would be judged in teams, because that's what I like doing. Episode 4 would end up being the Desp Awards challenge. Now, this challenge would be done in groups, I would say. It could also be done as individuals, but considering that there would be, 11 people in this challenge, that is, it's overboard. It's definitely overboard. But I feel like this would be done in just, like, a bunch of pairs and then a group of 3, or a one single person would end up being, like, the opener and closer of the challenge, which I actually think would be more interesting, being, like, the odd person left out. And these groups ideally would be decided by a mini challenge as well, or would just be like, hey, you pick your teams, go ahead, pick your person. that wouldn't be more dramatic, because if you do that with the bunch of pairs and the one person, if you're the person left out, then that is a whole scenario that would be very interesting to watch. But it could be done either of those ways, or any of them. It doesn't particularly matter. But I mean, the Desp Awards is a challenge that people have been wanting to see on Drag Race for like years, and I've been wanting to see it too. It is an iconic challenge. It really strikes an interesting balance to me of like improv and comedy performance, like improv and planned at different points, and like having it all kind of like work together, and in a way that is like essentially like a written comedy challenge that you write yourself that isn't a roast or a stand-up set. It's kind of like its own little like niche fit in that I really think is interesting. They also kind of did this challenge on Canada's Drag Race Season 3, which, I mean, I've already mentioned Canada's Drag Race earlier in this video, and I'm going to mention it more later. I'm going to be mentioning it a weirdly large amount of times, and that's because Canada's Drag Race is fucking goated, honestly. It is an amazing franchise, and it is the most similar to what my ideal Drag Race would be. But they did this on Season 3, they called it the Who Knows, based off of the Juno Awards. But yeah, I just would love to see this challenge again and see what they would do with it. And have it, in this kind of format would be very interesting. It is with each passing moment that I realize that the season looks a hell of a lot like Season 7 of Drag Race, and we're getting that again! Because we are having a makeover challenge being done in pairs. Yes, we're going to be having the makeover challenge in pairs. I said there was 2 team challenges earlier. I lied. I forgot. It's 3. But yes, we would be having with 10 contestants. They would be pairing up to do this challenge, and it would be more actually in line of the makeover from season 13 of Drag Race here, where they had to make over each other in their own drag styles. I feel like this is really interesting when they did this the first time around. It really, kind of led to a lot of different, art being showcased and conversations about art and expression. And I feel like seeing people's different expressions of their art on other contestants is super interesting, and I would love to see it again. And you might be asking yourself, wait, I thought the format was there was one person who won the challenge, and then you have 3 people in the bottom, and then one of them gets saved. Well, this episode would be a little bit different. It would be like a little like mid-season pick-me-up of hopefully the drama and of the format, just a little change here. It would be judged in pairs, and the winning pair would be, the winners of the challenge. And then there would be 2 different pairs in the bottom, and the winning pair would have to save one of the bottom pairs. And then the other pair would lip sync and one of them would go home. And I think that format change has the opportunity to add to the drama factor like by 9,000. I really feel like it could, and I would be very interested in seeing that personally. And I really like a makeover challenge. I know a lot of people say like the makeover is like the Drag Race challenge that should go, if any of them should just be axed forever. But I really like a makeover just in general. I feel like it's a fun way to do a design challenge that isn't just make a look. You know what I mean? And so I feel like I would really want to see it on this season and in this kind of format. I think it'd just be so interesting. In episode 6, we have Snatch Game. Everybody knows Snatch Game. Everybody at least kind of enjoys Snatch Game. This would not be Snatch Game of Love. We're not fucking doing that. No, this would be a standard Snatch Game. You could make it Snatch Game at sea if you wanted. There's no fucking difference. But yeah, it would just be Snatch Game, and we would be having Snatch Game, and I literally don't know what else to say. We all know Snatch Game. I'm moving on. Now, in episode 7, we would have a lip sync smackdown challenge. Now, you see my diagram that I hastily drew in the bottom corner, and I'm going to get to that in a moment. But I really enjoy the lip sync smackdowns. I honestly feel like it's so interesting having just a full challenge on Drag Race that is just lip syncing and seeing who does better. And the way that this would end up working is that we would also be suspending the kind of belief of the format of this season, but in a slightly different way. We are doing this Lip Sync Smackdown at a final 8, and we are doing that with a purpose. Because I don't like seeing Lip Sync Smackdowns with 7 contestants or 10 contestants as much, because guess what? The number ain't 8, and 8 makes a fucking bracket. It's the right number for a bracket, so why not do it at 8 so you can do a fucking proper bracket? But regardless, I like brackets. I like them. We're doing this at 8 so that we have a bracket. And that is what I drew off in the corner here. So I'm going to be pointing an arrow on screen like a teacher pointing on a fucking whiteboard to fucking describe what I've drawn here. So in this kind of middle line, we have our initial matchups that would be chosen by random draw. So this bracket here, we're starting in the middle. The initial matchups would be selected by random draw. They would be done like how they do on the Lip Sync Smackdowns nowadays, where we would, you know, draw a random contestant's name, and they would choose who they go against. And then that contestant that gets chosen would get to choose the song. And we do that 4 times. And the winners would move up in the bracket, and the losers would move down in the bracket. And we would go again, having 4 more lip syncs to determine who would be the top 2 and who would be the bottom 2. Now, the way that this episode would be judged is that essentially the winner would get the win placement, obviously. The person who loses to the winner in the top 2 lip sync would be top 2. The middle 4, aka the people who won and lost 1 lip sync apiece, would be safe. And then the bottom 2 would be, the bottom 2 and then eliminated. Then after all those lip syncs happened and we would determine our top 2 and our bottom 2, the top 2 would lip sync again, and the winner would win the challenge. And the winner, instead of determining who is safe from the bottom, would choose the lip sync song that the bottom 2 have to partake in. And the bottom 2 would lip sync, and one of them would go home. Does this mean that there are 10 lip syncs in this episode? Yes, it does mean that. But, we've had worse. I mean, we had in the original cut of season 15 and the standard 45-minute episode, we had 8 lip syncs happen in that episode. I believe 8 is the right number. So I think we can do 10 in the full hour episodes. It would be a similar situation where the lip syncs are cut pretty short overall, but I still want to see it happen. I think it'd be very interesting. I'd love to see it. Please give it to me. I want it now. And funnily enough, on the next episode of Canada's Drag Race Season 4, and this was announced today, and I did actually last edit this PowerPoint earlier today, but if it shows the timestamp, it'll be before the episode came out. In the next episode of Canada's Drag Race Season 4, they're doing a Lip Sync Smackdown at top 8. And I'm like, okay, well, fuck my drag then, Jesus. They are doing it, though, in a situation where 2 people are going home, which is going to be very intriguing to see how that ends up working out. But regardless, watch Canada's Drag Race Season 4. At episode 8, we would have a Rusical challenge. 7 is a good number, I feel like, to do a Rusical with. And ideally, the Rusical would be a journey through the life of Rusical, It would be like the Cher Rusical or the Madonna Rusical. It would be one of those situations where we're going through the life story of like a celebrity. It could be anybody. I think a Beyonce Rusical could be interesting, but I mean, we've seen on Drag Race that trying to act as Beyonce never really works out well. But I mean, it could be really just any kind of classic diva in acting or singing, and I would be like, great, give it to me, you know what I mean? So literally any situation like that. And I included the picture of the Panto Rusical from season 5 of Drag Race UK because this would be a live singing Rusical. No pre-recorded, this would be live singing. Because I feel like live singing automatically raises the stakes of a Rusical and makes it more entertaining to watch. And there's so much more potential for people to potentially mess up or for people to really shine because of the singing, you know? I feel like it just adds another level of variation that's really interesting, and I would love to see it happen. In episode 9, we have ourselves a roast challenge. Now, I am always a big fan of a Drag Race roast. I love a good roast. Once before, some friends and I held like a mock roast thing with each other, and I wrote like half of the jokes used in the roast because I just love a good roast. I think it's so fun. I think it's such a fun comedic thing that you can really just kind of express like different thoughts and feelings and just kind of get into it, but without the fear of it like being a big deal, you know? It's really just so fun to me. A good fucking roast. And I would have this roast at the final 6 because I love a fucking roast. And it's like the perfect timing for one, so why wouldn't I? I think it just fits perfectly. In episode 10, we would have the ball challenge. Now, I love a good ball on Drag Race. I love seeing the different looks and the different categories of the ball. I don't really have any specific idea of what like the theming for the ball would be. The closest idea I can think of though is like it's like a through the years kind of ball. It would honestly be pretty similar to the crystal ball that we had in Drag Race season 15, where they did like a RuPaul look, a look inspired by a past ball, and a crystal look for the crystal ball. This would probably be like you would combine like 3 different balls and have one look for each. And then I don't know how this would be implemented, but I did have this idea. It could be interesting where you have each of the contestants, their third look that they have to do like a design for has to come from a different ball challenge. And whoever would win the mini challenge in this episode would get to choose, oh, you have to make a look inspired by the money ball, and you have to make one inspired by the bag ball, and all these different things. So if it were to go a certain way, that's I think the way that I would try and format it, but it's a bit shaky, the actual like setting up of it. But I love a ball, especially at the end of a season. Balls on Drag Race should not happen early. It's just too many looks to go with. You got to get down to at least single digits before I'm like, okay, do a ball. 9 or less contestants, perfectly fine. Totally get it. But I would personally do it here at the final 5. In episode 11, we are going to have the reunion. Everybody who makes it past that ball episode, aka the top 4, are going to be the top 4 of this season. Congratulations to those people. And we would have a reunion here before getting to the finale. And this reunion and finale would be filmed in the present day of when this would be airing. So it wouldn't be like other All-Star seasons where the finale gets filmed and is done on the main stage and whatever. No, this would be treated like a regular US season where we stop filming once we get to top 4, and then we film the reunion and finale right before they air. Because I feel like it's more interesting, I wish we had like a proper reunion for All-Star seasons, but we just like never do, and it's annoying. Like, I know that we've seen them all before, so we're not just like, oh, let's catch up, because we already know who they are, but like, it would be interesting to see them like run down the season and their thoughts, feelings, and opinions and all these different things with it. I think it'd be very interesting if we got that each season, and it's kind of a shame that we don't. We would have this reunion, somebody would be crowned Miss Congeniality, and then we're going to be moving on to our finale. In our finale, this would be filmed in front of a live audience. And the way that this would work is the final 4 contestants would get to make and perform their own songs on the main stage. So I really like the way that they did this, especially with All Stars 8. It was honestly one of my favorite things with All Stars 8. the way that they ended up doing the finale, where they had these like specialized songs and the choreography to them. Obviously, we've seen that before in seasons 7, 8. I think also did we see this in season 6 too? I can't remember, but I really just remember it happening in season 7 and 8 of Drag Race. But the difference between those and what I envision is that they would be recording their own vocals and making their own lyrics for this song. It would essentially be like, hey, here's our time and energy. What song and performance would you like to show as the final thing that you're gonna be confirmed able to do on Drag Race, you know? I think giving that creative energy and allowing them to showcase their talents in whichever way they choose to on the main stage would be super interesting. And then we would cut the top 4 into a top 2 based off of those performances and the track records. And then the top 2 would lip sync and the winner would win, and that would pretty much be it. There are some other things I know I've considered for this fictional season that I either did not write down or potentially forgot to mention. Any of those I will be putting in a pinned comment at the top of the description once the video comes out. But yes, thank you all so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you wish. If you'd like to see similar videos to this in the future, please let me know. And yeah, again, thank you all so much for watching, and as always, take care. Bye-bye. See you next time.